Ukraine's foreign minister said a Russian missile slammed into an apartment building in southwest Kyiv early this morning.
Ukrainian president has invited all foreigners to join hands with Ukraine and to fight against Russia. He says this will be the key evidence of your support to our country. The Ukrainian president Zelensky, who was once a comedian and an actor, has now proven himself to be a real leader more than even a politician. Now, even when countries like the USA was proposing that he leaves the country, he stood by his country and is still willing to fight for the country.
Zelensky said the night had been brutal, with shelling on civilian infrastructure and attacks on everything, including ambulances. Earlier today, Ukrainian authorities said that Russian troops have entered Ukraine's second-largest city of Kyiv, and fighting is underway in the streets. The mayor of Kyiv confirmed that Ukrainian forces have now seized control of Kyiv and have launched operations to expel Russian forces. Russia unleashed a wave of attacks on Ukraine, targeting airfields and fuel facilities in what appeared to be the next phase of an invasion that had been slowed by fierce resistance. Huge explosions lit up the sky south of the capital Kyiv, where people hunkered down in homes, underground garages and subway stations in anticipation of a full-scale assault by Russian forces. The mayor of the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv, has ordered citizens to stay indoors until tomorrow morning as Russian forces close in on the city. Authorities warn that all those venturing out will be considered members of sabotage groups of the enemy.
Russia is now attacking Ukraine from the north, the east and the south. On the other hand, over 150,000 Ukrainians are now attempting to leave the country to countries like Poland, Hungary and Moldova. While one set of the civilians are trying to leave the country, another set has now come forward to take up arms and to fight for their country.
In the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv, the mayor, Vitaly Klitschko, the former WBC heavyweight world champion, now in a deadly fight for his country. By his side is his younger brother, Vladimir, a former unified heavyweight champion.
People of Ukraine are now resisting. They are openly confronting the Russian troops in their country.
A video posted to social media shows a Ukrainian citizen attempting to stop a Russian tank with his body weight. A Ukrainian citizen confronted Russian soldiers after their armored vehicle broke down on a country road in Sumy region close to the border with Russia.
Сломались. Можно оттащить на Россию обратно. А вы хоть знаете, куда вы едете? Нет. Куда?
Western allies announced sweeping sanctions against Russia, including barring some key banks from SWIFT payment systems. The US will further bolster Ukraine's defense with an unprecedented third payment of $350 million. Britain says it is ready to provide Ukraine with additional military support, including lethal defensive weapons. Germany is to send 1,000 anti-tank weapons and 500 Stinger missiles to Ukraine as it fights the Russian invasion. The assets of Russia's central bank in the EU, US and their ally countries will also be frozen, limiting Russia's ability to access its overseas reserves.
What is Russia's response?
Russia has warned it could react by opting out of its last remaining nuclear arms pact and cutting diplomatic ties. Meanwhile, head of the Russian Space Agency announced that Roscosmos will seek work on joint space operations with Europe and the United States and instead seek cooperation with China. He said that he had given his team an order to start negotiations with Beijing on coordinating and mutual technical support. Two top 10 Russian tennis stars, including world number 1 Daniil Medvedev and Andrei Rublev, have addressed their country's invasion of Ukraine this week. Speaking to media, Medvedev, who won the US Open last year, said, quote-unquote, "In this moment you understand that tennis sometimes is not that important." Andrei Rublev also advocated for peace, writing, "No war please," on the camera after his win. Writing on the lens is a common practice after tennis matches. Meanwhile, Alexander Zinchenko and Vitaly Mykolenko shared an emotional moment prior to Saturday's clash between Manchester City and Everton as the pair hugged each other in the wake of Russia's attack on Ukraine.